So now let's talk about a little bit of some of these camera parameters that we have over here. Just going to switch this back to single view, and let's take a look. We've got our normal, translate, rotate parameters that we had, and we were manipulating basically by using these handles. So all that stuff is there. And there's also these other tabs. So the main camera settings are on the View tab. This is where you set your resolution. So we can set this to 1920 by 1080 here, and choose what focal length, aperture we're using, and also you set your near and far clipping planes here. So that's sort of what this tab does. This next tab right here, sampling tab, is where you kind of control your focus, distance, and f-stop stuff that Redshift is going to use to determine what its bokeh settings are. Is going to be derived from these settings right here on this sampling tab. And then over here, we've got the Redshift camera options here. Now, if you have multiple render engines installed, you might not see this. And if you just collect, right now by default, it shows up for me just fine in Redshift 3.5 and the version of Houdini that I'm on. I don't have any other render engines installed other than Karma and Mantra that come with Houdini. But if you don't see this tab, the Redshift camera tab, you just want to go to your Redshift shelf. So if you don't have your Redshift shelf, you can hit this plus icon, go to shelves, and go find your Redshift shelf right here. Turn that on. And then you hit this button right here, cam params. Now I hit this and it doesn't do anything, but basically what that would do is if my Redshift camera tab wasn't showing up on my camera right here, it would create this tab for us. And here you can see all of the Redshift specific settings. Now here it's using the Houdini camera projection, and then you can see we've got our different types of lenses we can use. Our depth of field settings that are particular to Redshift are here, and then we have our post effects stuff on these other tabs right here. Actually, yeah, we got photographic exposure, post effects right here, and then this right here is a lens distortion file if you want to mess around with that. All right, so I'm just going to select camera view number 2 from the drop down, and let's first fire off a render here. I'm just going to click the play button in the IPR, and you can see that we're rendering from this camera. If you're not rendering from this camera, if you're accidentally rendering from this other view, we can just make sure you select camera 2 from this drop down, and you should be good to go there.